Okay, this is going to be a rule adjustment for COVID for the Dogleg I'm Too Superflexxy League. Um, Basically, been paying attention to what a lot of the good commissioners out there are doing. There's a lot of things that we'll be able to do as far as the league and canceling the season, or if so many games happen, then this will happen, and we'll pay this forward. We basically are going to need over a half a season to commence if we're going to pay out. Otherwise, we're going to pay out next year or basically pre-deposit for next year. We're not going to do anything crazy. Uh, but one of the big things that I want to do in this league is handle COVID maybe a little different than some of the other leagues. So what I'm going to do is convert all of our starting roster spots to become starting roster spots and taxi spots. So I believe this league is set up for 30 and 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to change that, and it's going to be 35 active roster spots. So instead of having a taxi squad that we're actually using our players and we have to move them up and move them down, there will not be a taxi squad this year. Your whole team will be available to you every week. So, yeah, there's Debbie guys that basically aren't going to be available, but they are. They're part of your 35. So you will have all active players available to you every week, and our taxi squad will be a part of COVID. So IR will stay the same. We're not increasing our IR spots. COVID will have nothing to do with IR. COVID will take the place of our taxi squad. If you have a player that goes down, you are allowed to move that player to taxi squad regardless of his eligibility. He can be a 5-year vet, 10-year vet, doesn't matter. He'll be part of your taxi squad while he's down with COVID. Um, what this will do is it'll allow us as a league, we will self-police this, but what we will do is allow that team who lost a player due to COVID to pick up their direct replacement. We will still do standard items, so if there's speculation or somebody's taking a shot at, all right, well, I'm going to go pick up this running back that's a backup to this guy, we're not going to take him off of somebody's team if you got him on waivers prior to the event. But whoever could be a direct replacement, you're given the first right of refusal to the team that will be directly impacted by the player who sits out. We're going to see some wild things this year. So because of that, because of the ability for a guy to show up and spike temperature basically means he can't play, we're not going to know some of this stuff until Sunday morning. And the idea with this situation is you will have maximum quantity of players available to sub in that situation, but you will also have the ability to put that guy on the taxi and pick somebody else up immediately. So in this league in particular, we have some, it's more auction based rules. For the fab bid, so we don't have true first come first serve. It's just various different days that we run the fab. So with that, we're not gonna, like I said, we can just make that roster move. So we can talk about it, and I'll do that as a commissioner. Or if it's one of those, you just put the $0 bid in and get them because we found out on Saturday. I think a lot of cases it's going to be making some adjustments there on the fly by me as the commissioner, but we're going to have a weird season one way or another, boys. So what I'm looking for is trying to make it as competitive as possible without people having to sacrifice the integrity of their teams to drop and pick up players only due to this COVID situation. Because you may have a very strong team that gets gutted because 5 or 6 players go down and they're out for a 3-week stretch or 2-week stretch. We don't really know with quarantine. We don't know how long they're going to be out, but imagine it'll be between 2 and 4 weeks. So all of that together means that we're going to have a larger standard squad. We're going to have our standard IR. So IR will be the same as it's supposed to be. It will be for injured players. Don't put your COVID people on IR. You're going to put your COVID people into the taxi squad. So that's what I'm going to do in this league. If this is something that will help other leagues, I'll also send this message out, and maybe you guys can follow suit.